figure another good topic to talk about is I just got back from Glenwood Springs. At the hot springs there at the hotel with the pool, you know, the big one. I don't know if there's many different ones. I've never been. The wife has gone like every year. Usually, you know, with her sister and mother and that. Kind of like a girls outing, because I do my motorcycle guys outing. So anyways, I had never been. My daughter's never been. Daughter's 8. So, well, I figured it would be nice for us all to go. So we went. Pools are not my cup of tea generally, and neither are crowds. So we end up, so we go, we're just going to be there for 2 nights. Check in on Thursday night, there Friday night, check out Saturday morning. And, you know, the first 2 days were pretty fine. With all the social distancing stuff, you know, they scare you to wear a mask. Like, the governor has said to wear a mask, blah blah blah, you know, on the entryways. Well, really, that's not what the governor said. I mean, yes, there's a mask mandate for public spaces, but there's more to it than that. You know, if you have medical conditions, you don't have to wear one. If under 10, you don't have to wear one, blah blah blah. But it's pretty much mask shaming to scare everyone into just wearing it. So, you know, I wore the stupid surgical one. It's not going to protect anything. And the thing is, like I've said, I mean, don't talk. You're not talking. There's no spit, is there? So it's kind of stupid to cover your mouth if you're not going to talk. But I guess common sense is out of the window and, you know, whatever. So, for the most part in the hotel, there was one time where I forgot it. And I was already at the hotel door from the parking lot. I was like, screw it. I think I saw one couple as I went in, like, who cares? Just, again, I'm not going to talk, right? So, as far as social distancing at the pool, now that's where it becomes crazy. You're there, swim, right? So no one's wearing masks in the pool. The type I have would just disintegrate. And probably be in the heat, very uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable just to go from the pool or hotel to the pool or pool to hotel. I took it off in between. It's not that far of a walk, but still it was hot enough. Like, nope, I'm not wearing this thing outside. Forget it. But you go to the pool, and so people when they first get there have the mask on. They find their spot, and then pretty much they're walking around or in the pool without the mask. You know, I say social distance. No one's social distancing. It's a freaking pool. Now people are trying to give some space, but for the most part, it's a pool, and there's no space. You know, especially Saturday morning, we went just for like an hour and 20 minutes or so, just so go down this tube river slide thing they have, and basically it was a madhouse Saturday morning. No social, I mean, forget it. I mean, the previous days in the line for the tube, there was no social distancing. I mean, some of us were trying, and so you might think I'm hardcore about the whole mask thing. I don't think they work, but I'm also being nice towards people. Like, I'm not purposely crowding them, and I'm trying to give them the 6 foot or roughly there of a room. And some people are doing that, but the majority of people, I mean, I had this freaking meathead and his girlfriend or wife, whatever she was like right on the step behind me. I was like, what the heck? I almost was gonna say something, but that's just gonna provoke a fight, And he did look kind of buff. I didn't really want to get punched, even though he would then be the one charged and everything. Right? Or at the bare minimum, be some what are you talking about? No, I guarantee you, they walked in with the mask, and they probably gave 6 foot of room elsewhere, but for some reason, around the pool, around the slide, or river, whatever you want to really call it, it's not a slide, the tube river, then, sorry, concentrate on the side hill here. Yeah, no one was giving room, space in the pool or on that tube ride. And it was hilarious. So Saturday morning, it was a madhouse. We didn't know that tube water thing didn't open till 11. Also, only 10 minutes before, we see a couple kids line up, so we need to get on it because we're leaving right after that. We have to check out of the hotel. So my daughter goes, stands in line. She's like 4th or 5th kid. And I'm standing next to her because I want to go, and my wife is going to go too. I don't know why people lined up on the wall, but kids, that's what they're trained to do, as my wife said. So they all, for some reason, lined up on the wall. Next thing you know, after a minute, the line went all the way down, and then they came and they said, you can't wait in line for this. So we all kind of left. We went and sat down. There were some benches not far away. Just like, let's just sit down there, and can't tell us to move from there, right? Well, next thing you know, people are slowly they kind of walk away at first, but then they kind of come back. And the problem was there was employees fiddling with the gate. And so they had people like, oh, it's going to open, yeah. So they kind of gather, and the lady's like, no, you can't line up. But they would just kind of go out and stand over by the pool. So you have this crowd of people, not social distancing, by the pool. And it's not that far of a distance, but and we're we're kind of further away on these benches built in. If you ever been there, you probably know what I'm talking about. And we're watching, and boom, they open it, and you got this mad. First time in my life, I never felt bad for freaking cutting the line. You had these kids running past you up the steps, and there was a guy behind me. He was was talking to the wife on the bench. She was 6 feet away from me, and we were talking. And she's like, I don't know what to believe, and, social distancing and this and that. She's really trying. She didn't like the fact there were so many people there either, but they were doing we take a run, and they're checking out of the hotel. So first time ever, I was like, Ella, and I walked real quick and just butted right in and just took her and dragged the wife in line. And then those people followed suit right behind, so they were right behind us. But I heard them say, 6 feet distance, give 6, and these kids are just running by and stuff kids out of control. Parents are obviously raised pieces of crap kids. But that's how a lot of parents are. They don't parent, and these kids are just running wild and whatever, and no social distancing at all. So the mindset that you're in the pool, you're by the pool, but you're walking in, you have that mask on, or you're gonna leave, so you put the mask on. I didn't put the mask on until I got to the door to leave, and then walked through the lobby, and then I just ripped it off. I was like, I'm outside, to any rule, They also have in Glenwood Springs, the pedestrian bridge, a sign that says, this is a mask zone or whatever, and it's red where you need to wear a mask. And I can understand, probably the weekend is busy. The 2 nights we were here, pedestrian bridge wasn't busy, so I'm not putting this on walking in the heat across. My wife's she doesn't like confrontation, so she just puts it on, and she's like, I know it doesn't do anything, but I'm putting it on. And I put it on if there was a reason to put it on, I mean, going into a restaurant is stupid because just standing at the table right when I'm going to sit, I just rip it off. Everyone else has their mask off at the table. People will say, but you're 6 feet apart. But the air is circulating in that establishment. So if somebody is sick in there, there's a good chance you're going to get sick.
So it's better if you're still doing takeout, really, than eating in an establishment. So it was unique experience, and you just see how silly people are. We went and did Doc Holliday's grave, or it's not his grave because they don't know where his grave is, just his memorial, really. But it's basically what the cemetery is famous for, is Doc Holliday and Kid Curry. And so we went and hiked up there, and as we're hiking back down, I didn't wear one hiking. There were some people wearing masks hiking. It's like, I could barely breathe. I was having trouble, like hyperventilating. And that's just a surgical. The cloth ones, there's no way. I can't do the cloth ones. I feel claustrophobic. No way. So I don't care if people say, I see that online, like, well, what's the doctor's reasons for it? I start hyperventilating and shit. Obviously, it's just something that doesn't work for me, especially in the heat. So, when I'm an adult, I'll take it off if I need to take it off. I'm not gonna make myself pass out or something because you're afraid you will get sick. Well, you're wearing a mask and you're 6 feet from me, so why would you get sick? If you know. So anyways, we're hiking back from Doc Holliday's marker in almost near the bottom, and none of us are wearing masks. We're hiking, and this couple, I see the lady has hers on, hiking up, and then the guy starts, I guess, realizing we don't have masks, so he starts like fiddling with his pocket, pulls out one, holds it up to his mouth, and I just look over before we approach him. I say, yeah, I'm just not gonna say anything, tell my daughter, like, just basically don't talk while we're going by them, It's basically, be respectful, right? They're paranoid, they're older, so maybe they should be paranoid, but then if you're that paranoid, then don't go outside. But the guy actually goes, as he's wearing a mask, and he knows we don't have masks on, he goes, how you doing? And I don't respond at all. I don't open my mouth. My wife actually is like, fine, or something. I was like, right in earshot of him, I looked at the wife, I was like, isn't that pretty stupid? I'm trying to be polite and not open my mouth because I'm not going to put on a mask while I hike. And here he is, puts up the mask really quick and then talks. I don't need to talk to you. I don't know who you are. I don't care about you. I mean, what? I'm being polite by respecting that you guys obviously have masks. I'm not going to say anything as I walk by. So don't talk to me provoking a response. You're obviously not that worried. So, it's just crazy stuff like that in this age. People just are not thinking. They're just like, oh, government says wear a mask, I better wear a mask. Police agencies already said they're not ticketing anyone. All across the country, we're not giving tickets for, it's debatable whether it's a law or not. Now you'll get the diehard liberal that will say, well, it is a law because it's a health crisis. And then there's others challenging the law in places it has been pretty much shot down that you do not have to wear a mask. And then you got crazy places like California where they're like, oh, at this gay club you don't have to wear a mask, but we're closing churches. What? Oh, and not just masks, but they're open. So, what? That's BS. BS that you would tell. That's just outright BS. You would tell somebody they have to be closed, but you're going to allow this gay establishment open. And I don't care about the establishment per se, except it's a double standard to bend over backwards, no pun intended, for those people, for that group. So it doesn't make them mad. Oh, you can't out them, they're gay. That's a load of bullshit right there. Excuse my language. That's just a load of poo. But yet, they're doing it. It's funny. Trump is doing executive order extending the $400, doing $400 a week and doing all this stuff, executive order, and the Dems are still saying that's good. Oh no, that's horrible. That's horrible. We need to pass a $2 trillion stimulus package. What? No, we don't. And why does it have to be $2 trillion? As I say, why not make it $20 trillion? I mean, if you're going to bankrupt the country slowly, why not do something really extreme and just say all debt is paid off. If you have a loan, it's paid off. We forgive all loans because the Federal Reserve backs all the banks with the loans, so the banks wouldn't lose any money. Yeah, it's all canceled. In fact, we're going to do away with the Federal Reserve. Hence, there is no more loans. We're just going to do away with it. And we're going to, as a government, take back the ability to print our money. So we don't have interest on a debt. When you print your own money, you don't pay yourself interest. People are stupid, though. They don't realize that. They think the Federal Reserve is a federal bank, and it's not. It's a privately owned bank with a lot of stuff we don't know because they don't have to disclose it. We really need to do away with the Federal Reserve. It would make our country that much better. So if you're going to bankrupt our country, you might as well do it in a way that we're all, most of us, the majority of people, anyone with any type of loan, whether it's car loan, home loan, imagine if your debts were just forgiven. Also, you don't have your home loan. You own your home. You don't have your car payments anymore. I mean, honestly, you would be mad with money. Even some people that you might be like, well, they have money. They're mortgaged to the hilt. If everyone also got rid of the loans, we'd all be a lot better off. Now, what would that do to our country? I actually don't think we would be hurting, because people are still going to need to buy goods and services. Even if the country goes bankrupt, the confusion would be, what is the dollar worth? Or what are we going to have to replace the dollar? But once that kind of settles and calms down, and if it was done properly and there was already another currency made and getting ready to be out there as the Federal Reserve is being done away with, then your money would still be worth something, because you're going to have to buy goods and services, you're going to have to be paid, and all your debts forgiven. So yeah, maybe it'd be a rough 6 months to a year. I don't think it would be as bad as people make it out to be. Yeah, I don't really think it would be that bad. But, you know, some people doom and gloom, so, yeah, those are like, oh my God, you know, it'd be 50 years before we come back. No, what are you talking about? People can still buy phones, people are still going to buy computers, people are still going to need medications and see doctors and have a need for insurance and have vehicles and even if it's paid off, insurance for them, fuel, etc. The economy would still go. I don't think it would be as bad as what the doom and gloomers paint it out to be. And in the long run, it's honestly probably what we need. to fix the country. Now, there would be those that cry, because you can tell that. There'll be the poor people that'd be like, but I don't have a home loan, so I'm not getting a free home. Well, you know, there's always going to be those that have and those that have not. That's just the reality of life. I know. Should I stop here and move that? I should. Yeah, because you don't want to ride over it with all this crap. I think it was here before. Do a little trail maintenance. That way, when you're coming over this way, you can come up and over without random crap in the trail. And if you're coming that way, then you have a little bit of ramp. That's how it used to be.